Wait, move me.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! Ladies and gentlemen, look at this! Look at this amazing audience! Listen to this! Wow! Real people. There's like 4 of them.
Justin, don't you know we're supposed to be social distancing? You've got to.
Yes, but they're very little people.
In your
They're like
little
relative.
People. That's like a little condescending, I think.
Little people.
It is. It's meant to be. It's meant to be. You stay over there in the corner. Hello, my name is Justin Thomas James, and I'm here with some fantastic people. Welcome to another episode of Sound Booth Theater Live. And who else we got here? We got Annie Ellicott.
Hello,
up in this corner, and we got Gary Furlong right next to her.
Hi.
We got Jeff Hayes, who you all know and love, way over there. Yeah, I know, right? Who's that guy? And we got Mixmaster Ahmed, Maestro. What sound effects you got queued up right now? What VFX? Ooh. Sound Booth Theater Live, the movie. In a world where people are stuck in their own homes and they have to band together from a distance and entertain each other remotely, 5 friends and the help of some amazing authors get together and tell stories to the people over the interwebs.
This is prime.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Top quality content, see?
Okay.
And the main goal of this is to entertain you folks first and foremost, but also we're trying to speed up the solution to this horrible issue that we're facing. Why don't you tell the people there, Jeff?
Okay. Well, actually, speeding up doesn't. I don't know where that.
We're trying to speed up.
What we're trying to do is stem the flow, right? Stop the
slow
spread.
down.
Slow down. This
Yes.
Yeah, but we never want to flatten those curves.
Speed up the solution.
Maybe what he was
Exactly.
Speed up our quarantine process so that we don't have to be stuck in here for
Let's get a vaccine sooner. Come on.
We're trying. We're paying a group of scientists to figure out how to fast forward time.
Yes,
Those
So
scientists
we
are
can
called the
literally
quarantine.
fast forward with a remote control.
that's probably
So
the
we've
best.
got some frontline
Time well spent.
workers, people who are coming into contact with people who are sick day in, day out, who need protective equipment. And what we are
That's
doing
right.
is raising money for protective equipment for those frontline workers.
That's right, Annie. We have a link in the description below in the YouTube video, or if you look on the Facebook post, there's a link there. There's a GoFundMe, and that GoFundMe is geared towards giving all of our money that we collect to Global Giving, which is the charity that is supplying all these first responder medical teams with supplies. So let's see, what is the goal today? $500?
That's right.
I think so.
So if we've already accumulated more than $2,400. I haven't. Hold on. Where's the link? I gotta go look again at where we are currently. We're at 1709. So that means somebody already today, some anonymous person, has donated $34. But our goal is 500. So if I am willing to match all donations up to $500 today. And then anything above $500 is just a bonus. But that means every dollar that you donate for this first $500 is getting doubled.
Which means we could be making $1,000 plus tonight.
Yep.
Amazing.
If all you guys band together, donate 500, that's 1,000 total that's going to Global Giving. And if we reach that goal, I mean, let's say you guys only donate 250 and we still reach our goal, we're going to up the stakes next week. We'll bring it up to 600. So, just a way to gauge how, how interested you guys are, just a way to give a little bit of a, I don't know if you'd call it a competition, just more motivation, or gamifying donation. Just to
I think it's always fun. You can always gamify anything in life.
Yeah. Why not? Enjoy ourselves. Let's have some fun. We got some people watching. We got Facebook user. Hello, Facebook user.
Yes, our
Hello,
biggest
Facebook
fan.
user.
Our biggest fan.
We have 3 Facebook users here, or maybe it's 7.
It's the same.
Yeah.
We have Zior. We have I Love Pie 1, 2, 3. Who we can all relate to, I think.
Don't we all?
3, 4.
Oh. Beautiful. All right. Well, we got a bit of a crowd. We got each other. What do you say we read
We've
some
got some original
stories?
content too, and
Yeah.
today's installation of Love in the Time of Corona is actually very entertaining. So
It's
I'm
the best
looking
one.
forward
Oh, it's a blast. It's a
That's right.
blast.
to it.
Okay.
Let's jump into it. So, as host, I've been given the honor of choosing who's going to play who, and Gary's going to be our lovely narrator here. Annie is going to be playing Lauren this time, and then we got yes, Felicity's sister. Jeff is going to be playing Felicity. Ahmed, as always, he's going to be rocking the switchboards, and I myself am going to be playing the romantic interests, clearly. So, without any further ado, let's jump into the latest episode of Let's Hear It, Gary.
Love in the Time of Corona. Previously on Love in the Time of Corona. As Lauren packed for the young women's return to the city, Felicity and Ford engaged in a spirited video chat, discussing their reactions, or lack thereof, to the rise of coronavirus cases in the United States. As the conversation progressed and the two maybe lovers searched for any other topic of conversation to discuss, you, our humble audience, received a glimpse into Ford's personality that Felicity has not yet seen. Namely, Ford's inability to be alone for more than a few hours without succumbing to crippling loneliness. It was out of this loneliness that Ford suggested Felicity spend the whole weekend with him upon her return. Yet their romantic plans were dashed when Lauren interrupted their flirtatious conversation to deliver the startling news that Governor Cuomo had issued a stay-at-home order for the state of New York. 6 days have passed since the lockdown began in New York, and our heroine has managed to stay sane by taking frequent social distancing walks, practicing TikTok dance routines, and drinking copious amounts of vodka and wine. As Felicity adjusts to being back under her parents' roof, back in New York, Ford is floundering. Although his work life is busier than ever, his social life has come to a grinding halt. While this is true of all those who are able to stay home, Ford seems to be taking it personally. To combat the isolation, he's been attending numerous virtual happy hours and, of course, video chatting and texting Felicity on the reg, as millennials think Gen Zers say. While Felicity enjoys the extra attention she's receiving from Ford, she isn't always able to reciprocate with the same fervor and frequency, given the large amount of forced family time she now finds herself experiencing. Night after night, drunken family dinners beget raucous parlor games, and although she misses her privacy, Felicity finds herself grateful for this unexpected opportunity to recreate the dynamics of her childhood. Only this time, there's alcohol. Lots of it. On this particular Thursday night, the Davies family has indulged in 5 bottles of wine between the 4 of them. Not to be outdone, Ford has gotten through most of a bottle of whiskey while video chatting with his fraternity brothers.
Oh my god, have you ever seen Dad that drunk? I mean, like, ever.
Felicity.
Oh, I'm not. Where's Felicity? Felicity, are you awake?
Felicity starts breathing.
Felicity's muted.
Tonight, even
Nothing came out of her mouth.
Third wedding.
Hold on, wait. Oh my god, have you ever seen Dad that drunk?
Seriously, I think tonight even tops Aunt Mimi's third wedding.
Well, he may have tapped out, but I'm not ready to call it a night.
I'll drink to that.
Clink. What's so funny?
Sitting on your bed, drinking after Mom and Dad go to bed. Feels like high school, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. At least now we don't have to worry about getting caught, though.
Oh, I don't know. Dad might be kind of pissed we drank that Cab Franc without him.
Please. He won't even notice.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Still, though, kind of fun to at least pretend we're being sneaky.
True. Damn. Your friend has been going crazy tonight.
Yeah, my phone. I guess so.
Is it Ford? Is it Ford? Is it?
Probably. I keep forgetting to check. Honestly, I don't find Mom's no taking your phone out at the dinner table rule nearly as oppressive as I did in high school.
Oh, definitely. It's nice to just sit and be with everyone. Still, though, I feel like if I were getting texts from a guy that I liked, I would check them whenever I could.
Are you getting texts from any guys you like?
Shut up. Seriously, though, don't change the subject. How come you don't want to text this guy? You were obsessed with him like 5 minutes ago.
It isn't that I don't want to talk to him. I do. It just gets overwhelming sometimes, you know? Keeping up with all the notifications.
Yeah, being popular is super hard.
No, but in all seriousness, I feel like there's this universal desire for constant contact now, and this may sound shitty to say, but I feel a bit stifled by it. I actually like being alone sometimes, and I miss being able to completely check out without feeling like I'm letting a bunch of people down.
Yeah, I get that. It's nice that people are going out of their way to keep in touch, though. Reassuring in a way, don't you think?
Absolutely. And I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I just get tired sometimes, that's all.
That's fair. And I wasn't trying to give you a hard time, but if there was something up with you and Ford, you know you could tell me, right?
Of course. And I totally would, but nothing is up. Ford is great, and we're great. Selfishly, the timing of this whole thing sucks, but it isn't like there's anything either one of us can do about that. Guess I should read those texts, though.
Hey, babe, what are you up to?
Damn, there are like 8 of these.
What's up? I'm wasted.
Guess that explains it.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
We'll skip the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th text messages to spare Ford just a little embarrassment, but they all contain some iteration of, "I miss you! Where are you? And please answer me!"
Yikes.
Yeah. Poor guy. I should get back to him. Hey, sorry, was doing family stuff. Sounds like you're having a good night, though, LOL.
Wow. Desperate much?
Shut up, it's sweet.
Serial texting you because you were busy for a few hours is sweet now?
He misses me, that's all. Besides, let's not pretend we both don't have the same thing. We haven't done the same thing to guys we liked at one time or another.
The wine is kind of hitting you, isn't it? Yeah, if I recall correctly, I confiscated your phone from you just a couple weeks ago for trying to pull this shit on him when he wasn't answering you.
Exactly. Drunk texts happen.
I don't like this double standard.
What double standard?
It's okay for him to ignore you, but you can't ignore him without him going all stalkery on you.
That is so not what's happening here.
It isn't.
No.
All right, if you say so.
Hey, I need a refill.
Oh, looks like we killed the bottle.
Well, it's your turn to grab another.
Is not.
It is too. I brought up the last one.
Fine. Oh, your phone is buzzing again. Guess that'll give you a chance to text Ford anyway.
Ha ha.
But Felicity is distracted from her own phone by the sound of a notification coming from Lauren's laptop. Boo-doo-ba-doo-doo-doo. Her inhibitions and respect for her sister's privacy diminished by alcohol, Felicity reflexively begins to investigate the source of the strange sound. It seems an account Lauren follows has posted a new video on YouTube. Intrigued, Felicity clicks over to the account profile and is immediately greeted by a series of thumbnails featuring a handsome man with dark hair and a toothy grin, and, as featured in a few of the thumbnails, an almost impossibly chiseled abdomen.
Hey, what are you doing on my computer?
Oh, sorry. It made a weird sound, so I decided to investigate.
Let me see. Oh, Julian Child has a new video up.
Julian Child? Let me guess. He's a chef?
Not exactly. I mean, he does do some cooking videos, but he covers all sorts of lifestyle topics. A lot of it is geared towards guys, but there's definitely something for everyone.
And you follow him because...
I mean, look at him!
Fair enough.
Besides, I'm just super into the way he approaches spirituality.
So he's like an influencer then?
Not just an influencer. Julian Child is the influencer. Yeah, he trumps Julia Child by like 10 million subscribers, okay? I can't believe you never heard of him.
Yeah, me neither. Is he just on YouTube?
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it.
Huh. I guess it is kind of weird I never heard of him then.
You want to watch his video? His new one?
Sure.
Hey friends, it's your buddy, Julian here. Today I'm going to talk about how to use essential oils to help control your moods. Before I get into all of that, I just wanted to take a moment to address the hard times that have befallen us.
Well, you can't say he isn't charismatic.
I know it's tough for everyone right now. Hell, I know how lucky I am to be able to stay at home during all of this with everything I need to be comfortable, and I'm still having a hard time. And that's okay. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. So, whether you're feeling lonely, overwhelmed, or even just pissed off, I'm here for you. My DMs are open, and I'll do my best to respond to your messages as quickly as possible. So, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all, stay sane. I love you guys. All right, so before we dive into the fun stuff, let's talk carrier oils, all right? I personally prefer jojoba oil, but coconut oil is a great option as well.
Oh my god. We totally have to message him on Instagram.
And say what?
I don't know. Hi, you're really hot?
You're drunk, and I'm sure he gets that all the time.
Okay, but we should still message him. Weren't you just talking about how overwhelmed you are?
Yeah, but I've got you to talk to. What do I need to message a social media influencer for?
Because it's fun.
He probably won't even respond.
We literally just watched a video of him saying he would. Come on. Please?
You're the one who likes him so much. Why don't you do it?
Ah, you're better with words than I am. Besides, I think you're more his type.
His type? Lauren, no one here is going to date the very famous internet personality. You know that, right? Besides, I'm already seeing someone.
Not exclusively. Plus, if you're not trying to date him, then what's the problem with messaging him? Maybe he could actually help you.
It's just weird.
Why?
It just is.
Give me one reason it's weird.
Okay, because... I don't know. I guess I'm pretty drunk too.
Please.
Why are you so annoying?
Please, please, please.
Oh my god, fine. If it'll get you to stop whining.
Yay. Okay. So what are you gonna say?
How's this? Hey, Julian. My sister just turned me on to your videos, And I wanted to reach out to say how nice it is that you're making yourself available to your fans. When you mentioned how some people might be feeling overwhelmed, that really resonated with me.
So far, so good.
Quit distracting me! Ugh. Sometimes it seems like now that the world is shut down, everyone feels entitled to everyone else's time. I love my people and I want to be there for them, but I don't always feel like I'm getting the time I need for myself. Can you help?
That's perfect. I can't even tell how drunk you are.
Really? I feel like it sounds drunk.
Not even a little bit. It's great. Just hit send.
Are you sure this isn't weird?
No. But it's 10 p.m. on a Thursday night and we're stuck in quarantine at our parents' house. Everything's weird now.
Guess that's true. Sent! Okay, easy there, Lore.
Shut up. Let's watch more of his stuff.
Okay.
Hey, friends. It's your buddy Julian here. And today, I'd like to talk to you all about M&M. No, not the candy. I am, of course, talking about mindfulness and meditation.
The two sisters continue to drink and fall down the rabbit hole of Julian Child's content until his soothing baritone puts them both to sleep. Drunk with wine and Julian's voice, neither one notices that Felicity's phone is consistently abuzz with messages, including one from @TheJulianChild. End scene. Bloody hell, that was a corker!
That was good. Oh my
Oh.
god,
I'm gonna have to
Justin.
wait a week to know what Julian Child said.
I know. And
Well done,
I
Emily.
feel like we must have Justin back as Julian Child.
That was so funny.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
god.
kinda wanna
What a
stick
great
with
character.
Lauren. I want to stick
Even
with the
changing the
sister.
camera angle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I loved
Like
it.
you
I
were
loved it.
lived
What a great character. What's that?
I feel like you really lived that.
You did live it.
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? It's Julian's my spirit animal. I feel so. He's a part of me.
Justin, I kind of want to buy some essential oils from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. I recommend lavender and peppermint's great as well.
We have a donor. We have a donor on our.
Really?
Thank you, Matthias.
What happened?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Matthias Rotestem. Thank you so much for donating. And
Beautiful.
once again, guys, if you want to help bring this coronavirus quarantine to an end, we are collecting donations for Global Giving, which sends equipment, supplies to first responder, medical workers, kind of like at the front lines of trying to keep people safe, trying to test people, and yeah, they need the protection more than anybody to get rid of this thing. So please send your donations. Check the description in the YouTube the YouTube description, or check on the Facebook post. You will find links that will bring you there. And Emily, tell us a little bit more about what you were thinking. What were you thinking when you wrote this
How
scene?
dare I, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think this was a really fun one to write for a few reasons. One thing I wanted to address in my own weird way is just all of the different emotional responses to everything that's been going on with staying home and whatnot. And I mean, like, I know I personally oscillate from between like lonely to wishing everyone would leave me alone like 30 times a day. So, I thought kind of having different characters embody different emotions there would be sort of an interesting way we can look back on this years from now and this is how people felt. And then obviously it's so exciting to finally introduce you guys to Julian. I've been so excited
Yeah.
to bring
yeah.
him into the
This is a
mix.
great
So
character.
you'll definitely be seeing a lot more of him in the next scene.
Nice.
And I think, I mean, we already know the answer because we talked about it beforehand, but a lot of watchers might be wondering if he's based off of anyone.
I would say he's an amalgamation. Definitely an amalgamation, for sure. But you all know the type.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
We see that guy. We see that.
We know that guy.
All right. Cool. Well, Emily, thank you so much for having written 4 whole scenes for this epic Sound Booth Theater Live the movie series. And you know, it kind of makes me want to, like, after we're done with all of them, take, you know, download all the videos, edit all these together, kind of, and then like post them on the YouTube channel. I don't know if we might be able to do that. Yeah,
Make it like a half-hour episode or something like that. Everything tightened up with sound effects.
Yeah, well, that as well. I mean, we could like actually produce it for the platform that's coming up, by the way.
Yeah.
So yes, indeedy. All right. Well, thank you, Emily, again, and we can't wait to perform your next scene.
Indeed.
So
Mwah.
you have a
Yeah.
good one, and
right.
we will move on to our request.
Yes,
From Nicole.
numero deux, number 2, and also number 2 in a series. This script.
Languages there.
What's that?
Numero deux.
Numero dos. Numero dos.
Zwei.
Duce.
Sorry, guys.
Duce libre.
I just rearranged everybody so Justin would be in the center since he is the host.
Sweet.
I am the host. I am the brood father of this hive. Yes, the requests only, the winner of requests only, the highest voted thing, script was PrimeVerse, Dose of Chaos by
Yes.
R.K. Billiau.
It looks like the author is in the chat right now.
Yes, I believe he
Sweet.
is. Yes.
So-
Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
So no
for-
pressure.
You're up.
No pressure. Not at
No,
all.
actually, lots of pressure to make this as ridiculous as possible now.
Okay.
Ah, yes. All right.
No, I'm just kidding. Sort of.
now
who's
you
who?
know. Now you know.
Let's see. Who's who? Oh, who do we got? We got Hudson, lovable MC, always curious and sarcastic, hesitant about the game world.
Man,
What?
do I get to? Okay, I want to be Hudson. Do I get to say game over, man?
Yes. Throw it in. Throw it in. Okay. Jeff will be Hudson. I'm thinking, okay, so then old martial artist. I would like to play an old martial artist, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
would.
but like if you do it, you can't get as racist with it as I can.
That is true.
That's
That is
true.
true. Unless I go like the
True.
black exploitation route. I'm an old martial artist who lived his life as a martial arts instructor, positive, pragmatic, and mostly formal.
You
Somewhat soft spoken. All right. Carl,
I like how we get to we have to choose between one or the other. It's like
it has to be a stereotype.
Okay.
Old martial artist. There's no generic old
True,
martial
true,
artist. It's
true.
all
You're right. There
typecast.
is no generic old martial. I mean, you're right. You're right.
Somewhat. Okay, Carl. Okay, so you know what? We should be describing these. So Hudson is a lovable MC, always curious and sarcastic, hesitant about the game world at first. His desire to learn more about it won out. That's going to be Jeff Hayes, everybody. Jeff Hayes will be Hudson. Kai is an old martial artist who lived his life as a martial arts instructor, positive, pragmatic, and mostly formal, somewhat soft-spoken, but forceful when necessary, maybe Forrest Whitaker. That's going to be me. No, he's not going to be from Forrest
you
Whitaker.
gonna buzz? You gotta. Oh.
Incorrect. It's not going to be. We got Carl. Somewhat nasally voice. Carl is cranky, somewhat skeezy, still not used to the system and afraid of getting hurt. That's going to be our lovely Gary Furlong, everyone. Madison is perky and positive, a substitute teacher who loves helping. Just because she is happy all the time doesn't mean she is stupid. And that's going to be Annie, everybody.
More.
And Annie,
Yeah.
how do you feel about taking on the role of narrator for this one?
Ugh, fine. If you guys want to hear me stumbling through it, I'm happy to do it.
Oh well, we want to hear your voice. We just want to hear your voice all night.
I'm up for it. And of course, we've got Ahmed directing the script on a binary system. So if he hears something he doesn't like, he's just gonna and we'll have to try it again. No further direction. We'll just have to do it again.
Oh,
and
you know what?
Get a ding.
That reminds me of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah, they have that good.
Right?
Yes. Oh wow, what a great idea!
Where you have to redo the lines as like a different voice or something, and then you have to keep that voice for a while until he dings you again.
I think inflection.
Yeah,
inflection
would be even more hilarious if he buzzed us when we did a good job, so that we could somehow mess it up.
Then do a bad job.
Yeah.
Like figure out what he wants.
I'm sure the author's loving all of this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad I'm going to have an opportunity, most likely, to break out the transatlantic accent after all.
There we go.
Well, no, I think you can use it for the mom and the Bradbury one.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
I'm going to use it for the narrator.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Oh, do you want me to? We'll do it.
Here we go. I'll read the scene. I'll read the scene.
Wait, who am I? Though,
let's.
than that? I'm Madison. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
You're Madison, and then yes.
Yeah. So what is this scene?
I've not read. This is a total cold reading.
We're gonna cold read this, and if Ahmed buzzes,
Oh, I'm sorry. This is first person. So whoever
is it?
Playing Hudson.
It's Hudson.
Right.
It's Hudson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. Jeff Hudson.
You guys are getting what's his name? Who played Hudson? Jeff.
Oh
No,
God.
the late great
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Yeah.
Get
All right.
over, man. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, and let's do the buzz thing, and I'm gonna rule as host that don't buzz too much, Ahmed.
You're not ruling as host.
Don't buzz too much. And let's do the change voice thing. I think that's gonna be fun because we each got characters, not on narration. Narration is the only thing that is not buzzable.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
So
that's
just character
we
dialogue.
can't get too out of control that way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be structure, you know? Okay, so the scene is the main characters have just entered their first combat in a dense forest with a strange new enemy. They've been tasked with conquering a dungeon in order to gain admittance into a village. This is the first time they have encountered this enemy. They also run into do I hear a chicken?
It's just okay.
They also run into
It's all a dream.
They also run into an unexpected player who was previously sent away from the village for bad behavior. And take it away, Madison.
They also run into an unexpected player. Okay, cool. I missed that last part. Okay. Quick!
Madison yelled.
Get information!
Her hands slashed out and the glowing X's formed a new formation, one I hadn't seen before. Not that I had seen many. This one, a straight line with all of us side by side. I hobbled into place and saw the combat buff change from a general combat bonus to a more specialized plus 10% to armor. Nifty. The man running towards us looked shocked to see us, or maybe to see us standing still instead of running away. But the look on his face quickly moved into one of hope.
Help me!
He shouted, closing in on us. There were at least half a dozen of the weird forest tornado balls rushing after him. Kai.
Oh, that's me, Madison. Toss him a group invite.
Kai shouted as he took a defensive stance.
Oh, Madison, toss him a group invite.
You gotta ding if he can keep going.
You gotta ding him.
Okay, there we go. All right.
You know what? No. We can't do that because that'll slow it down. It's
all right.
If he buzzes again, I'll redo it. But if he doesn't,
you have to respond quick with the buzz though.
Yeah. Okay.
Kai shouted as he took a defensive stance. I swear I saw a grin on his face. Too much violence indeed. I'd have to remind him later.
That's me again. Hudson and Madison, plant your spears into the ground. Let these things run into them.
He turned his head to the man.
You there! Join our group and get into formation. If we fight together, we can handle this.
I wanted to add a maybe, but thought better of it. I didn't want to annoy Kai too much before this fight. The man looked at Kai, then his eyes widened, and a second later his name, Carl, and Health Bar appeared in our group. He dove into one of the formation spots and turned to face the creatures that were nearly upon us.
I don't have a weapon. I lost mine back in the woods.
He heaved the words out between...
I don't have a weapon. I lost mine back in the woods.
He heaved the words out between labored breaths. Here, take this, I said, and quickly handed him my spear and stepped back out of the formation. Close-up ranks! I'll use my throwing mastery. The man took my spear and stepped next to Madison, but didn't have enough time to plan his weapon. The opponents had arrived. These strange creatures looked like bundles of rocks and sticks and dirt being held together with invisible strings, swirling around, making vague impressions of limbs, as if the forest floor was spinning around the inside of a vacuum canister, occasionally looking somewhat humanoid. Where I assumed its face should be was a black hole. Man, I hoped these things didn't eat people. It sounded like wind blowing through a cavern as they rammed into our front line, blowing up dust and twigs and leaves. Madison had planted her spear, but when the leading creature slammed into it, the spear was flipped up out of the dirt and Madison could barely keep a hand on it as it was sucked into the forest foe. Kai lunged. What is a forest foe?
I think it's a Furlong. She's the narrator. It's your rules, guys.
Kai lunged forward with a palm strike. I had no idea what he was aiming for, but he hit the creature in front of him hard, sending pieces of it flying away. The stranger in our group was pummeled by the creatures attacking him. He must have pissed these things off something fierce. They were aggroed on him like a politician smelling a voteless tax increase. I watched his health bar drop suddenly as he was hit by 3 at once. I wanted to remind him that ducking and covering wasn't an effective tool for defeating your enemy, but I felt like it was maybe too soon.
Hold on!
Madison said and used self-sacrifice to heal Carl. The whistling and whirling wind they made was so loud we could barely hear her, despite being mere feet away. Get him off! Get him off! He yelled. Oh, sorry, that was not me.
Was it me?
That was supposed to be you. I'm sorry.
Get him off.
He yelled, now flailing wildly with his spear, having no real effect on the creatures. I grabbed a zombie core out of my inventory and summoned a zombie, watching the core turn to dust. As fast as I could, I selected the attack function, and the zombie instantly zeroed in on the weird creature that was swinging its arms with abandon while clacking its gaping mouth hole over and over. I grabbed a rock and threw it at the one attacking Kai. I expected to see my sucker punch pop up, but instead, the rock was absorbed by the whirling dervish.
Not helping, Hudson!
Kai shouted as he lashed out with a powerful kick, his legs sweeping right through one of the enemies and sending its debris flying. The creature was noticeably smaller and quieter after that.
Please don't feed it!
Right. So I wasn't going to be able to throw rocks. That's kind of like my whole thing.
Too late.
Well,
Buzzer got buzzed.
That was too late. We got to keep going.
Okay. So I wasn't going to be able to throw rocks. That's kind of like my whole thing. Well, besides the train thing. At least I could summon, but I only had a few cores left, and somehow I didn't think rabbits would be much help. The zombie I summoned had drawn off the aggro. Everything hated zombies, but it wouldn't last long under that punishment. I had to think of something. Kai dealt another blow to his enemy, scattering the remains of its detritus around, and in a whirl of air, it disappeared and went silent.
Annie, take the AI.
Your party has slain a minor tutelar.
Your party has slain a minor tutelar.
Your party has slain a minor tutelar. You have gained 15 XP. You have gained a party bonus of 5 XP.
Tutelar! These must be the things Graham was talking about. Decent XP for that kill. Now if we could just manage to not die, it would be great. Kai broke formation and performed a shoulder slam to the creature nearest Madison. Not only did it look cool, it seemed to do a lot of damage as the thing lost a bunch of its swirling substance. But it also put Kai in the middle of its energy field, or whatever it was, holding the line together. And the swirling rocks and sticks acted like sandpaper, leaving gouges in his flesh and tearing off a 20% chunk of his health bar.
Ow! Damn it!
Kai grunted, his voice floating away in the ripping winds. The stranger, Carl, had finally gotten his bearings and was weakly slashing with my spear. I had to give him credit. He was a trooper for getting back into the fight. Too bad his attacks were pretty much useless. Madison, boost all of us! I shouted. Her health bar had been dropping too, from the sustained attacks, but much slower since her armor was a great defense. She weathered the storm as she boosted all of us and threw a heal on Kai.
Out of mana! Out of mana! Out of mana.
She shouted.
I can heal, but no more boosts.
Madison's healing skill, self-sacrifice, allowed her to heal, but it drained from all her expendable pools. If she ran out of mana, it would use zeal or stamina, and it drained from all her expendable pools. If she ran out of mana, it would use zeal or stamina, and it drained from all her... no, I'm sorry. That
You
okay.
fortunately
It was a
I
great...
did the same thing.
Okay, if she ran out of mana, it would...
I'm losing my effing mind.
You got this. You got this.
If she ran out of mana, it would use zeal or stamina, and eventually
Her own health.
No, and
Which one of us
eventually
is
her own
having a
health.
stroke?
It was a great ability, but if she used it too much, she became vulnerable. Heal bots, don't talk! I shouted.
Whoa.
I wasn't sure if that was approval or not.
That means you have
just
to
a
do that
sound
whole line backwards.
Slut.
I shouted at her for fun. I shouted at her for fun, but I can't see where I am now.
And watched her turn her laser gaze on me for not fun. I think she was actually angry. Oops.
Where is this? Okay, I shouted at her for fun and watched her turn her laser gaze on me for not fun. What? I think she was... I think she was
It's
actually
the not
angry.
fun gaze.
Oh, okay.
For not
Oops.
fun.
I looked at the new guy. New guy! Use the
Yeah.
boost to increase your spear mastery so you can actually hit these things!
Okay.
He took another hit as he focused on the boost,
Ow.
but came out of it swinging his spear with more confidence, causing a large chunk of debris to fly off the tutelar closest to him. Madison had evidently also increased her spear mastery as her attacks were doing more damage as well. Kai must have just let the boost... Did I just get spanked? Man. Kai must have just let the boost default to HP as his health bar filled to max in our group window. All in all, we were holding our own and these things didn't seem that tough, which is easy to say for the guy standing in the back doing nothing. Then one of the tutelar let out a howl like wind scraping across a frozen tundra, and it exploded out, losing its vague humanoid form and morphing into a whirling cyclone that blasted through each of us in a move so fast that it pummeled and sandblasted us all.
No, no. Ow, ow.
have been pummeled for 83 damage.
Oh, that was a buzz. We got a buzz.
Buzz,
Wait.
buzz.
I'm confused. Buzz or bell? What are you saying, Ahmed?
He was belling me, right?
Okay,
No.
I think he belled
Got
you.
buzz belled.
I got belled.
Ow! That hurt. My health dropped a good chunk. They have special attacks? I shouted the...
Ooh.
They have special attacks! I shouted the obvious. I and the new guy had been hit the hardest, with the new guy's health almost bottoming out.
Oh,
New guy! Get out of here! Run and
Okay.
hide somewhere,
Okay.
but leave the spear! I
All right.
shouted at him,
I will.
hoping he could hear above the torrential wind.
He wasted no time following that order, and I watched to see where he threw the spear. As I ran over to grab my weapon, my eyes fell on the corpses of the wolves we had fought, and I had an idea so great I was certain a light bulb popped over my head. With 1 second left on my boost selection timer.
It's a big light bulb.
On my boost selection timer, I quickly picked core manipulation, overwriting the boost to spear mastery. Right as I was about to move to the first wolf corpse, the stupid tutelar popped off another special attack.
Critical hit! You have been pummeled for 79 damage!
The attack spun us all around, and this time my zombie fell to the dirt and disintegrated. As soon as I could orient myself, I stood up and darted toward the dead wolves. Popping open the loot and scavenging windows, I quickly scanned for what I was hoping for. The first corpse had nothing but a wolf pelt, but I smiled when I saw the second window, a wolf core.
Your party has slain a minor tutelar! You have gained 15 XP. You have gained a party bonus of 5 XP.
Kai's health was yo-yoing while Madison healed him, becoming the target for the tutelar. Enemies always hate the healer. I quickly ripped open the loot windows on the last corpse to find a core. Then a lucky find window popped open with another core in it. Lucky indeed. I left one of the soul-bound cores on the corpse. The new guy would need it.
Thank you.
Congratulations! You have increased your lucky find still.
Holding the wolf cores, I smiled. I finally had some potential in this fight. I held the 2 cores and concentrated, and 1,000,000 tiny fragments of light rushed from one core as it dissolved in my hand. The bits of light... The bits of light raced together, and in an instant, a large, snarling grey wolf appeared. I could feel its hot, wet breath on my arm. There was something so powerful about standing next to an enemy I had defeated and having complete control. I slammed it into attack mode, slapped it on the rear, and it charged into the fray. I took a deep breath and concentrated on the next core, and it too dissolved, summoning a wolf. I sent it into attack mode also, and grinned as it charged in with its brother. Yes! I shouted, get... Yes! I shouted, get them, my minions! My joy was short-lived as another tutelar started howling and released its special attack.
Critical hit!
Am I ever gonna get buzzed on this? I'm stuck!
Hey, there it is.
Critical hit. You have been pummeled for 89 damage. Critical hit. You have been pummeled for 89...
Critical hit. You've been pummeled for 89 damage.
My wolves dropped to half health instantly, and Kai and I were both at less than 10%. I was out of tricks, so I ran up and grabbed the discarded spear and got into the dirty work.
I'm down to stamina for heals now.
Madison.
I'm down to stamina for heals now.
There we go. Where is, Madison said?
Gonna have to conserve. I won't be able to move.
This fight was closer than I wanted it. I may have gotten a little pouty about knowing I was going to die. One of the tutelars started howling and winding up for its special attack, while Kai landed a sweeping roundhouse kick on the tutelar right in front of him. Ah!
Your party has slain a minor tootler.
The next line.
What are the gains?
You've gained 15 XP. You have gained a party bonus of 5 XP.
Kai and I exploded into light as we leveled up. Our expendable bars refilled, and I caught a glimpse of the same light in the woods where the new guy had run. Then the Tutelar's special attack popped off, ripping huge chunks out of our newly refilled health and finishing off my wolves. My wolves had done good work with their attacks, though, and Madison was able to finish off the Tutelar they had focused on with ease, leaving only 2. Kai waded in with no regard to his own safety, throwing kicks and punches, while Madison and I focused on the one closest to us. We finished the remaining Tutelar with no trouble and stood after the combat, panting.
Well, that was close.
Madison said, smiling. Yeah, but at least this time I wasn't useless. Well, for part of it.
Well, yeah, but at least this time I wasn't useless. Well, for part of it, I said. It felt good to actually be helpful, although it would have been nice to not have to use those wolf cores right away. Oh well. Kai rubbed his hands on his pants.
That was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
He said, picking splinters from his palms. He turned towards where our new friend had run.
Come on! We defeated them! We defeated them!
He shouted. I started looting the corpses while the man cautiously walked out from behind a tree and inspected the scene before him.
Damn, you guys are good. I had a hard time. Damn you guys. Damn, you guys are good. I had a hard time taking even one of those things out.
He held his hands toward us.
I'm Carl. Nice to meet you. I'm Carl. Nice to meet you.
I'm Carl. Nice to meet you, see?
I waved absent-mindedly at him, and I looked at the loot windows that popped up. I found a tiny agate and 2 small agate, pretty rocks that could be used in crafting. I met the man's hand.
Kai, this is Madison and Hudson. Graham from the village said we might run into you. Are you trying to complete that quest?
Carl's eyes lingered on Madison a moment longer. Carl's eyes lingered on Madison a moment longer than I thought necessary before he nodded, a sour look on his face.
That Graham guy's a jerk, see? He killed me for no good reason. All I wanted was to get into the village and rest and eat.
Yeah, I said. They seem pretty touchy about that. We got the same quest. Want to join up with us? Carl looked at us dubiously.
I should be asking if you want to join me.
He smirked at us.
I know where the tree is.
You've seen it? I asked. Carl nodded.
I have, but it has a lot of guards surrounding it.
Great, I said. What kind of things are guarding it?
Well,
okay.
Okay.
Great, I said. What kind of things are guarding it?
Well,
Carl said.
A bunch of those little turtles, and also a huge guardian, but the bigger, better brother of these things.
Yes!
Hey!
And sing.
That was intense. I gotta air my booth out.
Yeah.
Do that again. That was a great game.
That was
That
fun.
was a really fun game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a
we're gonna
ton of
bring
fun.
that back
I love it.
next
It's
Wow.
like Uno too, where like I can only get
Does-
the narrator when he has lines.
Yeah.
Now, someone tell me what was going on, because I felt like we might have got a little distracted. Or I
By the
did, at
voices.
least.
Oh, you mean like in the,
In the scene?
Yeah, what was happening in the scene?
There were
Were you-
people there, and they definitely did a thing.
They were fighting tutelars, and I did a roundhouse kick.
You guys were fighting, and the creatures made a tornado, and you guys fought that. And yeah,
We've 2 new donors.
We do.
Whoa!
Nick and Anonymous.
Wow.
Dude,
So
I like Anonymous'
is
video.
giving us
Anno.
all,
Yeah.
like
Oh, my buddy
entire
Anno.
time.
That's Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Okay.
Anno. Yeah.
I don't believe in
thank you.
spazzes.
Okay, so 30, 44, 64, 67, 100.
34?
What?
What?
Hold on,
67 by 2?
94. 104. Hold on. Yeah, you're right. 137. 130. Yeah, $137 so far today. So that's $274 total. We're real close to the goal. We're almost done. We have one more segment. So if you guys are enjoying yourselves and if you guys want to do something good for everybody else out there who's having a hard time dealing with
Please
this,
share.
please share this video. Please tell people what we're doing. And if you have the funds, if you're not already struggling yourself, if like guys, don't feel obligated. Obviously, we're here to entertain you. We're here to have fun with you and hang out. But we are trying to help the greater cause ourselves. So if you want to help us, help them, please check the description of the YouTube video. Check the Facebook post. You will find the link to our GoFundMe. And our goal is $500 today. Anything you guys donate up to $500, I will be matching. So we could potentially be sending $1,000 out there for just 500 of your dollars. And if you keep bringing more, great. That's what we want. We're giving to global giving. And yeah, that's about it. That's my donation begging thing I do, I guess. Justin.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all. Well, thank you, RK Billiau, for providing us with that script. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for letting us absolutely butcher it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you have a good sense of humor,
Yes.
Rob. I kept my eye on the chat. I was looking for, this is bullshit. What the hell are they doing? I spent countless hours on this script.
You know, I was actually pretty surprised at how well written it was. While we
Yeah,
were
very
I was
smooth.
like, oh man, I wish this was more terrible, so I didn't feel so bad.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah.
Yes, so that was A Dose of Chaos by Rob Billiau. And next up, you know me, I like my Ray Bradbury. And we're going to do another Ray Bradbury short story for you. And no one's going to stop us.
No one's gonna stop us now.
No one ain't going to stop us. So everybody pull up your scripts. This is, I think, also from The Illustrated Man, a collection of short stories from Ray Bradbury, written in the 50s. And it's called Fever Dream. And yeah, it's all about, you know, going from that phase of, you know, childhood and you know, having others look after you and stepping through that gateway into adulthood and that realm of the unknown that sometimes can be quite scary, of becoming a new person as you go through puberty. But also it's about being sick, and you know, now I feel like it's timely because pandemics and things, unfortunately. So, without further ado, let's do Fever Dream. I'm going to be narrating. Jeff is going to be playing the doctor. The father and Charles, the boy, is going to be played by Gary. And Annie will be playing the mother.
Yes.
Here we go. Fever Dream by Ray Bradbury. They put him between fresh, clean, laundered sheets, and there was always a newly squeezed glass of thick orange juice on the table under the dim pink lamp. All Charles had to do was call, and Mom or Dad would stick their heads into his room to see how sick he was. The acoustics of the room were fine. You could hear the toilet gargling its porcelain throat of mornings. You could hear rain tap the roof, or sly mice run in the secret walls, or the canary singing in its cage downstairs. If you were very alert, sickness wasn't too bad. He was 13, Charles was. It was mid-September, with the land beginning to burn with autumn. He lay in the bed for 3 days before the terror overcame him. His hand began to change. His right hand. He looked at it, and it was hot and sweating there on the counterpane alone. It fluttered. It moved a bit. Then it lay there, changing color. That afternoon, the doctor came again and tapped his thin chest like a little drum.
How are you?
Asked the doctor, smiling.
I know, don't tell me. My cold is fine, doctor, but I feel awful.
He laughed at his own oft-repeated joke. Charles lay there, and for him, that terrible and ancient jest was becoming a reality. The joke fixed on itself in his mind. His mind touched and drew away from it in a pale terror. The doctor did not know how cruel he was with his jokes.
Doctor?
Whispered Charles, lying flat and colorless.
My hand, it doesn't belong to me anymore. This morning it changed into something else. I want you to change it back, Doctor. Doctor?
The doctor showed his teeth and patted his hand.
It looks fine to me, son. You just had a little fever dream.
But it changed, Doctor. Oh, Doctor!
Cried Charles, pitifully holding up his pale, wild hand.
It did!
The doctor winked.
I'll give you a pink pill for that.
He popped a tablet onto Charles' tongue.
Swallow?
Will it make my hand change back and become me again?
Yes, yes.
The house was silent when the doctor drove off down the road in his car under the quiet blue September sky. A clock ticked far below in the kitchen world. Charles lay looking at his hand. It did not change back. It was still something else. The wind blew outside. Leaves fell against the cool window. At 4 o'clock, his other hand changed. It seemed almost to become a fever. It pulsed and shifted cell by cell. It beat like a warm heart. The fingernails turned blue and then red. It took about an hour for it to change, and when it was finished, it looked just like any other ordinary hand. But it was not ordinary. It no longer was him anymore. He lay in a fascinated horror and then fell into an exhausted sleep. Mother brought the soup up at 6. He wouldn't touch it.
I haven't any hands,
he said, eyes shut.
Your hands are perfectly good,
said Mother.
No!
He wailed.
My hands are gone. I feel like I have stumps. Oh, Mama. Mama, hold me. Hold me. I'm scared.
She had to feed him herself.
Mama,
he said.
Get the doctor. Please, again. I'm so sick.
The doctor will be here tonight at 8.
She said, and went out. At 7, with night dark and close around the house, Charles was sitting up in bed when he felt the thing happening to first one leg and then the other.
Mama! Come quick!
He screamed. But when Mama came, the thing was no longer happening. When she went downstairs, he simply lay without fighting as his legs beat and beat, grew warm, red hot, and the room filled with the warmth of his feverish change. The glow crept up from his toes to his ankles and then to his knees.
May I come in?
The doctor smiled in the doorway.
Doctor!
Cried Charles.
Hurry! Take off my blankets!
The doctor lifted the blankets tolerantly.
There you are, whole and healthy. Sweating, though. A little fever. I told you not to move around, bad boy.
He pinched the moist pink cheek.
Did the pills help? Did your hand change back?
No. Now it's my other hand and my legs.
Well, I'll have to give you 3 more pills, 1 for each limb. My little peach.
Laughed the doctor.
Will they help me? Please, what have I got?
A mild case of scarlet fever, complicated by a slight cold.
Is it a germ that lives and has more little germs in me?
Yes.
Are you sure it's scarlet fever? You haven't taken any tests.
I guess I know a certain fever when I see one,
said the doctor, checking the boy's pulse with cool authority. Charles lay there, not speaking until the doctor was crisply packing his black kit. Then, in the silent room, the boy's voice made a small, weak pattern, his eyes alight with remembrance.
I read a book once about petrified trees, wood turning to stone, about how trees fell and rotted and minerals got in and built up, and they look just like the trees, but they're not. They're stone.
He stopped. In the quiet, warm room, his breathing sounded.
Well?
Asked the doctor.
I've been thinking,
said Charles after a time.
Do germs ever get big? I mean, in biology class they told us about one-celled animals, amoebas and things, and how millions of years ago they got together until there was a bunch, and they made the first body. And more cells got together and got bigger, and then finally, maybe there was a fish, and finally, here we are. And all we are is a bunch of cells that decided to get together to help each other out. Isn't that right?
Charles wet his feverish lips.
What's all this about?
The doctor bent over him.
I've got to tell you this, Doctor. Oh, sorry. I've got to tell you this. Doctor, I've got to.
He cried.
What would happen? Oh, just pretend, please pretend, that just like in the old days, a lot of microbes got together and wanted to make a bunch, and reproduced and made more.
His white hands were on his chest now, crawling toward his throat.
And they decided to take over a person,
cried Charles.
Take over a person?
Yes! Become a person! Me! My hands, my feet! What if a disease somehow knew how to kill a person and yet live after him?
He screamed. The hands were on his neck. The doctor moved forward, shouting. At 9 o'clock, the doctor was escorted out to his car by the mother and father, who handed him his bag. They conversed in the cool night wind for a few minutes.
Just be sure his hands are kept strapped to his legs,
said the doctor.
I don't want him hurting himself.
Will he be all right, Doctor?
The mother held to his arm a moment. He patted her shoulder.
Haven't I been your family physician for 30 years? It's the fever. He imagines things.
But those bruises on his throat, he almost choked himself.
Just you keep him strapped. He'll be all right in the morning.
The car moved off down the dark September road. At 3 a.m, Charles was still awake in his small black room. The bed was damp under his head and his back. He was very warm. Now he no longer had any arms or legs, and his body was beginning to change. He did not move on the bed, but looked at the vast blank ceiling space with insane concentration. For a while he had screamed and thrashed, but now he was weak and hoarse from it, and his mother had gotten up a number of times to soothe his brow with a wet towel. Now he was silent, his hands strapped to his legs. He felt the walls of his body change. The organs shift. The lungs catch fire like burning bellows of pink alcohol. The room was lighted up as with the flickerings of a hearth. Now, he had no body. It was all gone. It was under him, but it was filled with a vast pulse of some burning lethargic drug. It was as if a guillotine had neatly lopped off his head, and his head lay shining on a midnight pillow, while the body below, still alive, belonged to somebody else. The disease had eaten his body, and from the eating had reproduced itself in a feverish duplicate. There were the little hand hairs and the fingernails and the scars and the toenails and the tiny mole on his right hip, all done again in perfect fashion.
I am dead,
he thought.
I've been killed, and yet I live. My body is dead. It is all disease, and nobody will know. I will walk around, and it will not be me. It will be someone else. I will be something all bad, all evil. So big and so evil it's hard to understand or think about. Something that will buy shoes, and drink water, and get married someday maybe, and do more evil in the wind than has ever been done.
Now the warmth was stealing up his neck, into his cheeks like a hot wine. His lips burned, his eyelids like leaves caught fire. His nostrils breathed out blue flame, faintly, faintly.
This will be all,
he thought.
He'll take my head and my brain and fix each eye and every tooth and all the marks in my brain and every hair and every wrinkle in my ears, and there'll be nothing left of me.
He felt his brain fill with a boiling mercury. He felt his left eye clench in upon itself and, like a snail, withdraw, shift. He was blind in his left eye. It no longer belonged to him. It was enemy territory. His tongue was gone, cut out. His left cheek was numbed, lost. His left ear stopped hearing. It belonged to someone else now. This thing that was being born, this mineral thing replacing the wooden log, this disease replacing healthy animal cell. He tried to scream, and he was able to scream loud and high and sharply in the room, just as his brain flooded down. His right eye and right ear were cut out. He was blind and deaf, all fire, all terror, all panic, all death. His scream stopped before his mother ran through the door to his side. It was a good, clear morning, with a brisk wind that helped carry the doctor up the path before the house. In the window above, the boy stood, fully dressed. He did not wave when the doctor waved and called,
"What's this? Up? My God!"
The doctor almost ran upstairs. He came gasping into the bedroom.
"What are you doing out of bed?"
he demanded of the boy. He tapped his thin chest, took his pulse and temperature.
"Absolutely amazing. Normal. Normal, by God."
I shall never be sick again in my life,
declared the boy, quietly, standing there, looking out the wide window.
Never.
"I hope not. Why, you're looking fine, Charles."
Doctor?
Yes, Charles?
Can I go to school now?
Asked Charles.
Tomorrow will be time enough. You sound positively eager.
I am. I like school. All the kids. I want to play with them and wrestle with them, and spit on them, and play with the girls' pigtails, and shake the teacher's hand, and rub my hands on all the cloaks in the cloakroom. And I want to grow up and travel and shake hands with people all over the world, and be married and have lots of children and go to libraries and handle books and all of that I want to do,
said the boy, looking off into the September morning.
What's the name you called me?
What?
The doctor, puzzled.
I called you nothing but Charles.
It's better than no name at all, I guess.
The boy shrugged.
I'm glad you want to go back to school,
said the doctor.
I really anticipated.
Smiled the boy.
Thank you for your help, Doctor. Shake hands.
Glad to.
They shook hands gravely, and the clear wind blew through the open window. They shook hands for almost a minute, the boy smiling up at the old man and thanking him. Then, laughing, the boy raced the doctor downstairs and out to his car. His mother and father followed for the happy farewell.
Fit as a fiddle,
said the doctor.
Incredible.
And strong,
said the father.
He got out of his straps himself during the night, didn't you, Charles? Did I?
Said the boy. I think this is the doctor.
Okay. You did. How?
Oh.
The boy said.
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
They all laughed. And while they were laughing, the quiet boy moved his bare foot on the sidewalk and merely brushed against a number of red ants that was scurrying about on the sidewalk. Secretly, his eyes shining while his parents chatted with the old man, he saw the ants hesitate, quiver, and lie still on the cement. He sensed they were cold now.
Goodbye.
The doctor drove away, waving. The boy walked ahead of his parents. As he walked, he looked away toward the town and began to hum school days under his breath.
It's good to have him well again,
said the father.
Listen to him, he's so looking forward to school.
The boy turned quietly. He gave each of his parents a crushing hug. He kissed them both several times. Then, without a word, he bounded up the steps into the house. In the parlor, before the others entered, he quickly opened the bird cage, thrust his hand in, and petted the yellow canary once. Then he shut the cage door, stood back, and waited. The end.
That's a spooky one.
That's good.
Oh, we have a very nice donation from someone. Prax Venter. Thank you very much.
Ah, Mr. Venter.
Thank you.
Author extraordinaire, author of Mark 2.0 and Irrelevant Jack.
Oh, man, we got a lot of donations, actually, in just the last 10 minutes here, I think.
Yay!
Nice.
250s from Anonymous.
Nice.
Another 34 from Anonymous, so 134, 144, 166.
Anonymous has been very nice.
Gary
Anonymous.
Gary donated 50, so we're at, I keep losing count. 100. 134, 167, 77. All right, so 227. And then with Prax, 327, 328, $338 so far, guys.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
if I throw in the other 338, we're at 676.
Holy crap!
Nice.
This is a good day. It's a good day. So thank you
Kicking
guys
ass.
so much, everybody who donated. Thank you. This is excellent. You know what? We're real anxious to get out of our binds, out of this quarantine, out of our booths. At least we can do that right now. But you know, I'm really happy that this show's turning out to grab your guys' attention. I'm having so much more fun with it than I have been with requests only for the past few months now. And
Yeah, this is a really fun one.
I'm really grateful for everything that we have and for the fact that we can be here entertaining you guys. So thanks everybody.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Annie, Gary, Jeff, Audio Ahmed, all of our donators, everybody in the chat, Rob Billiau, Josh Mason. Don't remember how to pronounce your name, but is it Madara? Is it Madara there? Gambit, everybody
there.
Yes, and also our authors, Emily, Rob Billiau again, and the late Ray Bradbury. I highly recommend you check out Illustrious Man. It is a fantastic work by Ray Bradbury of short stories, and he narrates it himself in one edition. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, ready to wrap up. Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose that is all. Without further ado, this has been Sound Booth Theater Live, the movie. Stay safe, stay sane, and most of all, stay sane, everybody. And don't forget to meditate and use your essential oils in your nostrils. You know, sometimes